Hey, Bill.
Here we are on Zoom.
Yes, on another Zoom meeting.
Oh, I'm so tired of Zoom. So we're going to talk about 2020. I think we should celebrate 2020, though. There's a lot to celebrate. We had these 5 initiatives as Lighthouse. We actually had them for 2019 and 2020 called Vision 2020.
Clever.
Remember that?
Yeah, I love that.
Growing closer, growing deeper, growing younger, getting updated with our facilities, and going global. What has surprised you about 2020?
Man, what hasn't surprised me about 2020? Seventh period was something that we loved being a part of, connecting with students. We'd have pizza, hang out, games, just eating hot, spicy peppers, being close to each other, just hanging out. It was so much fun. So I could see seventh period starting up without a hitch next year. But the whole time we've been reaching out to kids at the skate park, reaching out to kids there, hanging out with them there. Me and Sochet have been there. So even in the midst of our world, we still find a way to connect with students.
We did this combined virtual Good Friday service, and that was such a blessing.
Yeah, Good Friday was something special. I love, we always would ask ourselves, like, what limitations do we have with this? There's all these things. But we always would ask each other, you would ask, Pastor Bill, what does this make possible? What does all of this make possible? And we thought, like, well, if we're not limited by time or space or people's schedules, why don't we just have this huge collaborative event to where we, not only as Lighthouse, share it to the world, but Sanidad Davida, Raul and Maria, they could share it to the world.
Pastor John and Julie.
Yes, Pastor John and Julie. They could share it to the world. And that was one of the most successful videos that we made. It was a really powerful worship experience, and sharing the word and having communion there in our homes with crackers or whatever people had. That was a really awesome experience.
And then we had our first digital Easter, and because of having Kaya Edwards from Carol Levin sing on that recording, She returned that and had an interview with me and our church about, the first digital Easter.
What did that feel like for you, being on the news, having that news story? What was that like for you?
It was unexpected, but it felt good, not just to represent Lighthouse, of course, but to represent like churches and other colleagues and pastors and all these ministries that are adapting to this time frame and creating an experience online for Easter.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of a blessing that Lighthouse got to be a part of that. I've been saying this for years, and this really has taken hold this year, but the message doesn't change, but the methods of how we get the message out are always changing. Then we moved to Love Share, and again, we had to adapt and pivot rather than bringing people in the building or as we used to do, or shutting it all down, because my goodness, people are in need more than ever.
Yeah.
So we had to change the whole way we do our Love Share grocery giveaway to making it a drive-through grocery giveaway. And we actually now are ministering and blessing more people with love through a grocery giveaway than we ever have before. So Love Share, especially in April and May, were just unbelievable, but it continues to be very, very successful, very fruitful, very significant to do Love Share as a drive-through grocery giveaway. The worship at Lighthouse has been such a blessing for me throughout 2020. And the way Pastor Paul and Evelyn and our worship team have been so willing to try to provide worship on video in a variety of ways. And I also got to say, can you believe, Phil, that we actually had Carrie Job and Cody Carnes lead our worship for 2 of our virtual worship services?
I know, that was such an amazing thing that they provided for churches like us, and it was cool for us to be a part of it and to be able to say, yeah, Carrie Job and Cody Carnes are leading worship for Lighthouse. For Sundays in a row. That was really special.
Yes. And then this time of year, especially with lack of activity in the building, it's made possible us to redesign and carpet and put a new backdrop on our stage, and to build a permanent tech booth that's going to be able to help us accommodate the new camera equipment, obviously the parking lot as well. But
praise God.
Yeah, praise God. Crisis is an accelerator. And so things that you want to bring about, new ideas or change or innovation, sometimes it takes a long time for that to come about. But when there's a crisis, you either shrink back and do little, or you press forward and you use the crisis as an accelerator to become more impactful. To the best of our ability, I think we've tried to do that.
I think a common theme with us at Lighthouse is that we didn't sit back and just let 2020 happen to us. We didn't take 2020 on the chin, but we pressed forward. We look for new, innovative ways to serve people, bring people and have people experience the power of Jesus and experience love. I love that about Lighthouse.
Then Phil, you had the TNT tent. We were wondering back in June if this firework tent was even going to be able to happen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So the TNT tent is something that we've done for the past couple of years. It's always been super fruitful for the youth ministry. But this year, I think it was almost like a perfect storm for us. All these places canceled their shows, right? So everybody was looking to buy their own fireworks. We completely sold out of fireworks, which is the first time ever. I don't know if it's because of my sales tactics. It probably had to do with COVID and all the shutdowns, but we raised like over $5,000.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We rallied partners from the city of Rosemount, police and fire department, other organizations, Young Life, etc. And here it comes, this big semi pulling into the community center parking lot, and 20 pallets.
They were stacked pallets. They weren't like 4 foot. They were like 10 foot high, like 8-9 foot high worth of boxes of so much ice cream. We
were hoping, can we just give away 20 pallets in about a 3-hour time period? And we ended up giving it away in about less than an hour and a half. So many people came. And, over and over, Phil, I just believe that at the end of the day, it's really not about the size of your ministry or your church. It's about the influence. And I believe that we at Lighthouse are called to be influencers. So we pack a punch with love, and because we're small, but we get in there and say, you know what? Yeah, we'll give away a whole semi of ice cream. We'll make a difference in people's lives. Then we moved into kind of the official reopening in September, and we had our revival nights. We thought we'll have 4 nights. We ended up having 7 weeks, a total of 20 nights of revival meetings with Tom and Susie Scarella. Who would have ever thought that would be possible at all, but especially in the midst of a pandemic?
That was another thing that got bumped. But whenever it happened, it was one of those things when it happened exactly when it was supposed to. The Lord knew what he was doing. And yeah, we had 12 services in 10 days. And then weekend after weekend after weekend, people kept coming hungry, and people kept streaming it online.
And so we're just giving all the glory to God for all of that.
So true.
So 2020, to kind of sum it up so far, I mean, it almost is reminiscent of Charles Dickens, who said, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." I mean, look what we've been able, to the glory of God, to do and participate and partner with the Lord in the midst of the times in which we're living. I've never been more blessed and proud to be a part of Lighthouse in the 16 years I've been here. And I truly believe we all need to buckle up and we need to get ready, Phil, because the best is yet to come.
I believe it. I believe that so much.
Yeah.